Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Tarot for Manifesting, where we use tarot as a tool to help us align with what it is that we're trying to manifest in our lives. Today's reading is going to be directed to those of you who are currently manifesting prosperity and abundance. Okay, financial prosperity and abundance. What message does Spirit want to give to you at this time? For those of you who are currently manifesting prosperity, what messages does Spirit have for you here? Maybe we're looking for financial freedom. Maybe we're looking for just more security overall, more stability. What message does Spirit have for you at this time? For those of you manifesting prosperity and abundance, we have the High Priestess here. We have the Two of Cups. Let's move this over just a bit. There we go. This is kind of in the way, isn't it? What messages does Spirit have for those of you that are currently manifesting abundance and prosperity here? We have the Fool. We have the Six of Cups in the reverse. For those of you that felt drawn to, clicked on this video, we have the Seven of Wands. We have the Hanged Man. And we have the Two of Wands. Okay, and underneath the deck for the overall energy here, we have the Three of Wands. Okay, let's sit with this for just a minute. Kind of want to move this back over. Okay. This feels like you're at the very beginning stages of this manifestation. Okay. And maybe a whole lot of things aren't very clear on your path just yet. Okay. It feels like a lot kind of remains to be seen here. The High Priestess, starting off, the High Priestess is an energy of kind of mystery, right? Not really knowing what's going to happen next. The answers aren't really very revealed to us. It's all kind of, hidden at this time. And, well, hang on that note. Yeah, with the Two of Wands here, this is about kind of being at a crossroads and making a choice for our future, okay? A lot of times with the Two of Wands energy here, sometimes we can end up in a little bit of stagnancy, okay? We can kind of stay in the same place for maybe a little while, specifically because we don't have these answers just yet, and because this is concerning our long-term future, this could be something that we want to make sure that we get it right. We want to make sure that we really don't, mess up this opportunity here. And so the Two of Wands, when we're talking about future planning, a lot of times this comes out. And this is what makes me feel like you're kind of at the very beginning stages of this journey. Okay. You also have the Fool here, which is the very first card in the major arcana. Okay. So this is also the very, very beginning stages of a journey. This could be a situation where maybe you've never experienced what it's really like to have financial abundance or to be financially prosperous. Okay. Um, and so maybe you're the first one in your family who is kind of setting off on this journey. But ultimately, that does feel like what this is here. It feels like the beginning of a very, very long journey where we're not sure what we're going to come across. We're not really sure what's going to come into our path. But the Fool energy here is very, very optimistic, which is the energy that I feel like you currently have on this path to manifesting more financial abundance. You have the Three of Wands as the overall energy, which once again gives me this sense of optimism, okay, that you currently have. All of these potential options, these potential pathways or ways that we could kind of make this happen for ourselves, right? So it definitely feels like you're in the planning stages right now, right? We're in the planning stages. Maybe we don't know how we're going to get there, but we've just decided, okay, I want to be wealthy. I want to have this financial abundance. I want to, make something of myself and be successful. I want to experience this. I want to be the first one in my family to experience this. I want this for myself. And now that we've decided that, we're kind of in these next planning stages of, okay, well, how can we do that, right? What are the options available to me? With the Two of Wands here, which path do I want to take? Which path with the Two of Cups most resonates for me at this time? With the Hanged Man here, it feels like this is Spirit kind of reminding you that making this choice and making this decision is something that happens. How do I want to say it? It's going to take a little bit of time, let's just say. Okay. Making this decision of how we are going to reach this financial abundance is going to take some time. Okay. The Hanged Man a lot of times can end up in a little bit of a standstill energy, right? And that's kind of what we're getting with both the Two of Wands and the Hanged Man here put together. This is very much an energy that could come across as, it's Spirit basically wanting you to be patient with yourself in this specific stage of the journey, because right now you're exploring your options, okay? And the Hanged Man, a lot of times it stays in one place without a lot of movement forward because it's trying to decide what the best option is. And so this is Spirit really encouraging you to be patient with yourself as the answers come to you, okay? You are forging a path here. This is not something that anybody else has experienced before you. You may not even have a lot of role models to copy here or to seek advice from. And so it feels very much like you could be on your own, a lot in this process. And because of that, we're needing to kind of maybe try out one path and then, dip our toe in it and see if it works. And if it doesn't, kind of pull back and then head into another one. And kind of just a trial and error situation. And that takes time. With the Two of Cups here, it may take time to feel out what resonates with us, what feels good to us. With the Strength card here and the Seven of Wands, this is about persistence, okay? Because this is going to be a long journey and you're at the very, very beginning stages of it, this persistence and this strength energy here coming in together, this needs to be your foundation, Okay. Because especially when we're in this process of trial and error, this is spirit wanting you to know you're not going to get it the first time around. You may not get it the second time around. You may not get it the sixth time around, right? As far as the specifics go, as far as the specifics go of how is this working for me? How is it not, you know, it takes some time to really craft the how and to craft what feels good, right? But that is what we're doing here. And we have the 6 of Cups in the reverse here as well. This kind of makes me feel once again like you could be the only one in your family, or this could be an experience. And this is what happens, right? This is what happens when we start to manifest something that we're the first one that we know of who has really done it. Not that we know of, but that is in our close immediate circle, right? It takes us a little bit more time than it may take someone else who, let's say, has a lot of wealth in their family, because it's something that is a completely unfamiliar experience to us, right? And so when we're manifesting abundance and we're trying to kind of get ourselves into that headspace, a lot of times, let's say those other people who, once again, kind of have wealth in their family, it's not something that they really have to work hard to imagine could be possible for them, because it's very, very close within their bloodline, right? They may see it a lot more often. They may see what it looks like, how it feels, all of that kind of stuff. But if you are someone who doesn't have, anyone in their immediate circle who has experienced this financial abundance before, first of all, this could be an invitation from spirit for you to fill your circle with those people. Okay. Fill your circle with those people and start to begin to see and begin to change your perspective here on what wealth actually looks like, what that financial abundance actually looks like. What are their habits? What are their patterns? How do they talk? How do they act? How do they dress? And you may learn many different things from many different people here, but start to kind of look in those directions if you don't have someone in your immediate circle. And this will also help it to feel closer to you, help this money, help this wealth to feel closer to you and help you to get in a better space to embody it. Because this is the reason why it takes us a little bit more time, We have to kind of let it settle in, and that's okay. It's all okay. Spirit is just wanting you to know that it may take a little bit more time for you to get there. And so be patient with yourself, because with the 2 of Cups here, you are coming into this version of yourself that you are meant to be. Okay. It does absolutely feel like you are getting more into alignment with yourself on this, journey of manifesting abundance here. But with the Strength card and the 7 of Cups, this is spirit, letting you know you have to keep at it. We cannot afford to stop. And when I say keep at it and keep working, I don't necessarily mean like working so hard that you're burning out. I more so mean working so hard at training your mind, at retraining your mind into believing that you are worthy and deserving of wealth, that it is just as easily accessible to you as it is anybody else who, let's say, has a wealthy family, for example. This is where the persistence and the strength comes in. It's not necessarily in the physical actions. It is a little bit, in terms of, okay, this didn't work, this didn't work, this didn't work. Now I know. Now I can focus on what does, right? And you will get there. You will absolutely get there, but this is a more long-term journey here. And so if you start off, because you're at the beginning right now, if you start off with that in mind, it's going to be a lot less kind of frustrating, right? If we know that it's going to be a long haul journey and we know that we're going to try and fail a few times before we really get the hang of it, as long as we have that in mind and we're working towards the long term, we're not so concerned about everything else. We're not so concerned about the failures, because it doesn't feel like with those failures, it doesn't feel like that's going to be the end of everything, because we're playing the long game, and that kind of helps us keep that stamina. Yeah. Um, and with the Strength card and the Seven of Wands, the persistence that I feel like Spirit really wants to see within you is that snapping your mind back, snapping it back and snapping it back to this space of being worthy and deserving of the wealth and abundance that you are seeking, right? Particularly with these failures and along this journey, and as we're kind of trial and erroring it, a lot of those kind of the things that aren't working, that really allows sometimes for those doubts and those fears to kind of creep in. And this is where Spirit is saying, this is where that persistence and that strength is needed to really snap that mind back into, nope, I'm not letting those thoughts in. This is where my mind is today. This is what I'm focused on. I'm worthy and deserving. Doesn't matter if I failed this time. I'm worthy and deserving. And it's coming and it's coming and it's coming. And just keep going back to that. Okay. And that is that persistence that Spirit wants to see. But overall, you're in the very beginning stages. It's looking very, very good for you. It feels like Spirit just wants you to keep in mind here that this is a long-term journey. Okay. It's going to take a bit of trial and error, but ultimately you are moving closer to the version of yourself that you are meant to be here. Okay. Okay. So that is all that I have for you guys. As usual, I really do hope that this was helpful for you. If it was helpful for you, and you would like to see more videos like it in the future, please subscribe to my channel. Also, feel free to like this video, leave a comment, let us know where you're at in your process of manifesting abundance, if you have seen any progress so far. Yeah, and other than that, thank you so much, guys. Very good luck on this journey to you, and I will talk to you again soon, okay?